Okay guys, welcome back. Now that you've got your machine set up and you may have cut your little project and you may have skipped it like I did. I skipped mine because I want you guys to kind of come in and get familiar with Design Space before you start cutting. But I understand the excitement and some of you just want to see what the machine can do. So let's dive into Design Space because learning Design Space is going to give you the success with your machine that you are craving, especially if you cut that small project. So let's just dive right in. We're going to start with the header and this gray area right here across the top. It says home, has the menu in it. Your name will be up here, so welcome to you. Your projects and the machine. Now depending, you can swap from machine to machine. If you have more machines, you're just going to select the one that you want because there are different options for different machines and we will cover some of those. I am going with the Maker because the Maker has all of the options, and I will let you know as we go through what is not available on those other machines. And then you have new project. Okay, and that is everything that's in that header. Up here above the header is going to be Cricut Design Space version, and I am working out of version 6.2.100, which was just released this week. So there's a lot of new features from the older videos that we had. So here is the menu. You're going to select the menu in the header, and your name will be up here in your profile. Now, there won't be anything in there. You'll need to go in and set up your profile if you want to. You don't have to. This is where you can come in and you can see all of the projects that you shared, people that you're following, and people that may be following you. All of that will appear here. You're just going to follow these and edit your profile and fill everything in, okay? And I will probably switch back over to in later videos to my regular account so that you guys can see that, and I'll show you that in a drop down. This home button is going to take you home, which is your main screen. Canvas is going to take you to the Design Space canvas. This is where we do all of our designing. Okay. Next, we just went through that new machine setup. Calibration. Let's talk about calibration. When you open up calibration, you're only going to have, well, for your Maker, you're going to have your rotary blade, your knife blade, and print then cut. If you're on a Joy machine, you won't have this. And if you're on an Explore machine, you're probably only going to have the print and cut. Now, that being said, your machine should come with the rotary blade already calibrated. If you go to use your rotary blade and it isn't, it's going to prompt you to come here and do that, and it's going to open that up for you. The knife blade does not come calibrated, and you will be prompted. You must calibrate that blade before you use it. It will not allow you to cut until it has been calibrated. Okay? And then print and cut. You only need to calibrate your print and cut if you're having miscuts, which we will cover later in the print and cut video. But you do not need to adjust that unless there is an issue, okay? And we will cover any issues that you may have where you would need to do that in that print then cut video later on. So this is where you're going to come to calibrate if you're getting miscuts. Again, you have to do this one before you can use it the first time. This one you can use, and you will only want to calibrate it if it's not cutting properly. All right, and then back to that menu, manage custom materials. This is where you can add custom materials for your machine, okay? You can select your Cricut device, and I'm just going to select my Maker and open that up. And you can see all of the materials that are preloaded for you, okay? If a material is grayed out and it won't let you do anything, if you're seeing this, from an Explore machine, that means you can't cut, because like these with the rotary and knife blade, you guys probably aren't even going to see them. We're just going to check that. I'm going to close out of there and we're going to switch to Explore just so you guys can see what that looks like. And it's probably not going to let me because I don't have my Explore on there. Darn it. Anyway, there will be some differences. Let me see my Joy machine. And let's go into Manage Custom Materials. I don't know that it will let me select any of these for my Joy. But you can try it. You can see, go in there and look for whatever machine that you have. I'm going to go back to the Maker because it does have all of the materials, and we're just going to cover some do's and don'ts, okay? And this applies to all machines. Doesn't matter. In here, you can come in and you can switch machine right here on this green button. Acetate, it's telling it that there's a 319 cut pressure. It's going to do a multi-cut 2 times, and it needs the fine point blade. And I can edit that by clicking edit, and I can change these pressures. I don't know if Cricut has fixed it, but in the past, I'm going to cancel that. If you change your settings, when an update is done, and they can do an update, sometimes updates run in the background and you don't ever even see them, okay? If that happens, it might reset everything back to the originals that you see here, okay? If you have a material that's not listed or you need to adjust settings, scroll all the way down to the bottom and add a new material and put in, I'm just going to put tutorial here because I don't need to save that, and hit save. So you're just going to name it at this point and hit save. And then it's going to pop up and put it in alphabetical order for you. And then you're going to decide what cut pressure you need. And you can slide it. And the way that you're going to decide that is try one of these. If this was something a little heavier than washi sheet, which is a tape-like material, I would try to cut it on the washi setting. And if it did not cut, then I would come in and create another setting, washi 2, washi 3, and just keep bumping it up maybe 5 to 10 points each time and doing a test cut of maybe a star or a circle to see if it's cutting properly. Once it does that, then I know that this is set properly. So if I were doing a washi and it didn't cut at the 85 that is here, I might go up to a 93 and then tell it that I wanted it just to cut the 1 time, so it's off. If I need multi-cut, then I will do 2. You can go up to 9 times. And then select the blade that you want to use for that. And notice you cannot select the knife blade. There are reasons for that, and we'll get into that later. I have videos on using the knife blade. Then you're just going to hit save. And then you can see up here, right here, tutorial 93, multi-cut is off, and we're going to use the fine point blade. At that point, then I've got that material in there. And it's not going to affect any of my other settings, because if I change my washi setting to that, and then I actually put in the washi sheet, then it could overcut or undercut that material. So you don't want to be changing those, but you can add. That being said, I'm on my Mac, and I added that material. Now when I open up my iPad, that setting's not going to be there. You have to add it per device. So if you're going to be using your phone, you can get to your projects and do that kind of thing from your iPad, from your phone, from your tablets, your laptops. But any of the fonts that you add and any of the materials that you add, you have to do to every machine that you, or every device that you use with your machine. So if you go from one to the other and you don't see it, that's why. Next is an update your firmware. Now this should have done when you hooked up your machine. It's going to say update. Let's make sure you can click on that update, and it's going to say it's up to date, and just continue. If it's not up to date, it will prompt you follow the on-screen prompts. Next, you have account details. Here we're going to go into the account details, and when you click on that, mine's going to open up. I'm using two screens, so I'm just going to pop this over. It's going to open up your account, okay? And in here, you're going to have your order history, anything that you may have ordered, your profile. You can go in and set up your profile. You can go into your address book, your payment settings, your credit cards, all of that kind of stuff is going to be there. If you have a credit from Cricut, it will show here. Your subscription is going to show here. It's going to show that it's Cricut Access Monthly. I have 30-day trial that we just got. You guys saw that in the previous video. Right here is where you can cancel that. So if we were to cancel it now, it would not renew on 2/12. Okay, but I'm not going to cancel mine right now. I still have my 30 days, even if I cancel it, but I'm just going to leave it. I may need it. Then you've got your email preferences, anything you save for later, linked cartridges, and that's going to be any cartridges that are linked to your account, any single images that you've bought, anything like that. That's all going to be there. Your registered products. Here's my maker. It's going to have a primary user, my serial number. Everything is up here and what dates. And then if you have a promotional coupon from Cricut, they do that occasionally, you're going to redeem that there. So that's what happens when you go to your account details. Linking cartridges. And I forgot to tell you guys, if you're on a Cricut Explore machine, set your dial to custom and just leave it there. We don't have a dial on the maker machines. You guys still have a dial for your materials. You can set it just on custom and leave it there, and you'll be able to select materials exactly like we do with the maker, and you don't ever have to worry about changing it. Just a little tidbit that I forgot, especially with Manage Custom Materials. So then we have Cricut Access. And we're going to get into Cricut Access in a separate video all on its own. Is it worth having? All of that good stuff. What it does, what you're entitled to, and how it works. That is your image library. If you want to do the $7.99 a month, you're going to get 10% off of all of your orders on Design Space. And then you get the 10,000 plus images. Again, all of your Cricut Access images have the letter A on them, and we will dive into that deeper in a later video. Next, you have the linking cartridges. Now, without an adapter, I cannot link a cartridge to my Cricut Maker, okay? And with the Explore machines, you do have a linking port on your machine. On the left-hand side of your machine, there's a little port that looks like a miniature cassette player type thing, like an 8-track. So that is where, if you have physical cartridges that they used to sell, or you had a legacy machine that used those, that is where you're going to plug those in to link them, okay? You need an adapter for the Maker. You don't with the Airs or the Explore machines. And you're just going to link those to your account. All that port is going to do is read the serial number of that cartridge. It is not going to read any images on it. It's going to add it to your image library online, and it will be accessible from all devices. Now, if you have some of those, if they've been linked to other accounts previously, then you cannot link them to your account. If you bought them brand new or you had a legacy machine, they should be on your account. If they're not, you can call support and they will assist you. You usually need the photo of the front and the back of the cartridge so that they can see that it has not previously been linked to anybody else's account other than your own, and then they will help you and assist you in adding that. Now all cartridges are digital, and we're going to cover that more in Access. So chances are if you're brand new to Cricut, you don't have any cartridges. You're probably not going to find any that haven't already been linked to an account. So just a little tidbit on that. If you have more questions on linking cartridges, support can help you with that as well. Next, you have your settings. Here you have the settings in Design Space. You're going to select your language. You can change your grid to no grid, partial grid, or full. You can go with imperial, inches, or metric. Here you go. And right here you want to do cloud only or cloud and computer. There's really no need to save it for cloud and computer unless you know for a fact you're going to be working offline. And offline means that you have no access to any Wi-Fi or anything. There are some stipulations to that. You must be logged into your Design Space before you go offline in order to access those. If you are logged out of your Design Space and you lose internet, you're not going to be able to get in unless you can log in somewhere on your phone or something to get in there. So you have to have a Wi-Fi connection to log in, and the only way that you can access to work offline is if you were logged in before you took your Wi-Fi down or your internet down. So I just leave mine on cloud only because if I don't have power to cause me not to have internet, I can't cut anyway. I can design, but I can't cut. And I'll probably have something else I could find to do anyway. But some people do like that feature, but like I said, if you're not logged in when you go offline, you can't get online to use the offline stuff. Next is your canvas style. This is the classic view that you see here. Right here, this is classic, where it's in 1/4 inches on the grid. You can also, right here in this little corner, you can click it and turn the grid on and off into full inch, 1/4 inch, full inch, and off. Go back to settings, and then we're going to go to the new style. Now, if it will let me, there we go. And we're going to have a little flash. There we are. So here is your new grid. And on that new grid, it's done in 1/8 of an inch. To me, it's a little difficult to see. Might be easy for you, but you can go in and turn that grid from inch to 1/8 of an inch to off. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to my settings and put mine back on classic because I just prefer the classic. All right, and then after settings, we have legal. What legal does is going to open up in another window. I'm going to slide that over. You can go in and read that, and that is going to give you all of the terms and conditions if you want to sell projects that you've made with your Cricut. You can come under the angel policy. Sometimes this can be clear as mud, but it's going to help you if you go in and read. It's going to talk about licensed material and things like that, like your Disney stuff that is in Design Space. Cricut has a license to sell you Disney images. You don't have a license to sell Disney images, if that makes sense. Right here, it is prohibited to sell finished items. Okay, right here. And angel policy because they are licensed content, including Disney, Sesame Street, all those kind of things. Anything trademark, copyrighted, all of that kind of stuff. You can sell the access images that are in there. You can use those and you can sell using those, but you can't go, let's say, put in a duck from Design Space and cut 10,000 ducks and just sell the ducks. You can't do that. You can put the duck on a card and sell the finished card, if that makes sense. That's how that works. It has to be finished projects. You can't just do die cuts, individually cut letters, shapes, da-da-da-da-da, right here. So all of that can be found in the legal portion right here. Anytime there are new features with Design Space, whenever they add a new tool, you'll find that under new features. It will come up with an overlay that has arrows and things like that that point to what you need to do. And right now there are no really new features, so there's nothing there. Then the country, help. If you need help from Cricut, the Help Center is going to open it up. And then you can go in and you can search Design Space, Cricut Maker, Joy. Anything that you need, you can search right here. Or you can come to the Facebook group and you can ask us and we will help you with it. So lots of options for you. That covers what's inside the menu other than sign out. And we all know what that does. It's going to sign us out of Design Space. Next, clicking right here takes you to it tells you that you're either on Canvas or that you're on Home. That's what's in that header menu. Right here is going to be your name. If you're on a project in the Canvas, it's going to say Untitled until you actually put something in there and you save it. And you notice that when I put that in there, then I got an asterisk up beside Untitled. That means that I've changed something in the Canvas and I have not saved it. So if I come over here to save, I'm going to name this and then hit save. And I want to save to cloud and computer. I just want to save to the cloud and I'm going to apply. All right, and now you can see that it says tutorial. Okay, now if I move it, do anything, now my asterisk is back. That means I've done something and I haven't saved it. Once it's saved, it will go away and then you will see your blue bar. My projects. Right here is going to bring up your projects. Now I've saved it and you can see it there. There's my projects. And I named that tutorial. So let's go back to the canvas and I am going to add another shape. And then I'm going to do a save as. And I'm going to call that tutorial 1 and do a save. So once you get lots of projects in there, you can go to my projects and you can see. And let's say that you were looking for tutorial 1 and you knew it had a 1. You can search now. This is a new feature that we just got and there is my tutorial. Okay. So now we have that new search feature. It is awesome. So I'm just going to go back to my projects. Or I'm going to go to the canvas. And I'm going to go back to this project. This is tutorial 1 and I'm going to select the title and it's going to open up. Now remember that we said you could go in and set up your profile. That's very important with this. So make sure that you set that up. We're going to go to that project and we're going to edit those project details. Here is where you can add a photo. You'll want to add a photo. If you're on mobile, it's going to force you to add a photo. Okay? On a PC, you don't have to do that. If you make a typo and you didn't name that what you wanted to, you can come in and change that right here. The description, you're just going to put in shapes for a tutorial, whatever it is. If it's a card, any notes, anything that you want to put in there to help somebody know how to put the project together or what it's for. It's iron-on for a t-shirt. Then your tags, you're going to add those. So this would be a shape. My tags aren't working. Before we had, there they are. There we are. I was not typing the right thing. There we go, card. And let's say that maybe it's iron-on. There we go. Now it's working. Maybe it was me and not them. All right, so go in and you can add up to 15 tags. And then I'm just going to say a box too, just so we can see. Box card. Nope, don't like box card. Let's go with box. There we are. Now that we have our tags, we have our photo in there, we have our shapes, we have our description, we have our tags. When you're saving this, you have 3 options. If you step on your little footer here, your stepper, your arrow, whatever you want to call it, you have only me, the default, anyone with the link, and everyone. If you select only me, no matter how many times you get your link. If it's only me, you can share your link and nobody's going to be able to open it. Anyone with the link, anyone you share your link with, will be able to open it, as long as you did not upload any image into your design. Okay? And then you have everyone. And if you select everyone and hit save, then your project is going to pop up here. You're going to get your copy your link. You can share it on Facebook. You can share it on Pinterest. We can close that out. But let's go up into our profile. Because I shared it with everyone and I did not upload anything, there it is. Now, if I uploaded something in that, even though it's shared with everyone, they won't be able to open it. Anytime you upload into something, you cannot share the link. You can copy your profile link, all of that kind of stuff right here. You want to go in and set it up, put your picture in, all of that good stuff. And then you'll find all your projects you share with everyone right here. Okay? And then you can always come and save it for offline if you know you're going to be working with it later. You can edit your project details from here, or you can delete that project. Let's see. Next, I think that's just about everything on the projects. Let's do a search. Box. There we go. Anything that I put that tag of box in is going to pop up. So that's why I put that in there. You can see that it pulled up the shapes, but not the other one, because I put that tag in there. So make sure that you're tagging everything that you want to tag in there that you may search for. And let's see. What happens when you do share it with everyone and you put it in the community and it's here? When you go to the home, we're going to go back home. Right here, you're going to see all of your projects start appearing, and it's going to be with the latest one, or your last one's going to come in there first. Once you get a bunch in there on this ribbon, and you don't see them, you can click View All, and it will bring you here. Let's go back to the home. Right here, Cricut Access. I want to View All. Right here, I can go to the Cricut community, and now projects that have been shared by people just like me and you, like the project we just shared, can appear right here. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to pull up what I did. Here are some of my projects. This one is mine. This one's not mine. And this one is not mine. This is my project right here. So I did some chair covers and they're in there. It may take a little while for your project to show up that you shared, but it will be in there. Okay. Let's see. There's several of my projects in here. Not all of these are mine. I don't know how this search is working. It may be just picking up with my name. It may be picking up crafting. But you can search the community for yourself and everything. But everything that you share to everyone can appear in this Cricut community. All right. And next you have your Make It button. We're going to go into the Make It on the mat at a later point. But that is what it does. It takes you to the mat preview screen and you have a few steps there before you actually continue and you make it. So that's going to conclude this video of the header. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment down below. Ask me. I'll be happy to help you, or come to the Facebook group and we will cover it there. Next, we're going to go over some other things in that menu on the design panel, and you can pause at any time and play along and restart your video if you have another device, or you can shrink your window down to sit beside your Cricut window so that you can follow along with me.